Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Colin Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, last week we brought you a couple of replays from the second Steel Division 2 charity tournament. Want to give you the opportunity to kind of take a look at some more of the replays from that tournament. So here on Orsha East, we actually have two guys duking it out for your favor. I do want to make a quick call. The tournament itself has managed to raise over $1,300 already for humanitarian group Action Against Hunger. We'll put a link below in the description if you guys want to go and donate to that cause. It's a great cause. I put some money in myself. And honestly, do it soon. The donation window is closing, and it's a really, really great community and a really, really great cause to kind of give money for. Rang, to this particular kind of replay, what are we serving up for the people today?
On the left-hand side in the blue, we have Syno playing second New Zealand with a Vanguard income. Right-hand side in the red, we have Scherwi playing 10th Guard tank with a Maverick income. And right off the bat, we're seeing field engineers and Ogman Shikis being chucked right into the center of things.
You know, the thing I didn't really quite appreciate the fact that the field engineers are almost the ideal opening kind of piece, aren't they? I mean, the opening kind of, I would say, town aggression piece. Like,
yes.
Between the Thompsons, the charges, and heck, even the Lee Enfields to kind of keep that medium range kind of engagement pretty honest. It's not a bad combo.
Yeah, they are pretty decent. I mean, it reminds me of the old Superior PPS-8 when it had satchel charges as well. So they're a very good unit because you can just rush them up with the Jeeps that they come in. And just as you see in versus the two-man flamethrower teams, they do pretty well.
I am moderately amused by the fact that we have Piat kind of edge-hugging in the south, but we have a Boita Panther in the center. Actually, I guess I can't really call it a Boita because it's not German, so I couldn't tell you what the Russian thing is. Let's call it Lend-Lease from the Germans.
Forced Lend-Lease.
Exactly. Yes. Converting to communism. And of course, I know I was slagging off, I would say, at the beginning, even before we went live here, that Stuarts are going to get wiped the floor with the armored vehicles over here from the Soviets early on, and we did see a Stuart go down to the center here. And now, Spitfire, not quite getting the damage I kind of thought he was going to get, but then you remember, it's not Red Storm Rising, so...
Oh. But yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting one. I mean, New Zealand definitely have the infantry advantage with all the oblites, which are a fantastic infantry choice. Very well effective. I mean, Scherwi with his Maverick income, I mean, he's definitely playing a little bit more dangerously with his A phase and B phase, while Syno is hedging a little bit more in C phase of the infantry at least. But, oh no, we're going to have to see how this plays out. I mean, right now it's pretty static. It's only, yeah, 12-12 right now, but just looking down south, Scherwi is actually making pretty good progress. He's going to clear out that entire forest.
That's not too surprising though either. I feel like, and I work these maximum here in the center of town as well. I feel that second New Zealand, you have to be consistently aggressive, and while a lot of the material is very close range, I almost wonder if that is not really going to be helpful to them, you know?
You mean...
I mean, like...
How like, not helpful?
Well, and that, I mean, they're good for town fights, but forest fights, maybe not so much. And, you know, only you can prevent forest fires, and that's one thing. That's great. But I feel like a lot of their numbers don't have that anti-tank kind of staying power. They're so dependent on Piats and really their AFVs for any kind of anti-tank.
Yeah, they do. Gonna definitely have a bit of a hard time against these Panthers and Tigers trying to come out. They only really have the 17-pounders as a heavy anti-tank as well as air power. So I think for Scherwi, keeping these Panthers and Tigers alive is definitely going to prove to be rather beneficial. But yeah, also he has a bunch of T-3045s which can fight Germans rather well. So yes, I mean Scherwi versus tank core is going to have to take advantage of his tanks.
And I realize how ridiculous it is to make that comment, yeah. but like if you think back to the second First Nations division that we featured last week, we don't really see a lot of effective fighting unless it's like a Ranger Marauder type of unit. So I mean, like, I'm always just a little wary if my standard infantry squad either has to A, depend on a Piat, or B, has absolutely no anti-tank whatsoever. Like, I feel like I would give up a light machine gun if I could consistently have anti-tank capability. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. I've also just thinking about it, like 2nd New Zealand doesn't have any Wunderwaffen units or anything super crazy gimmicky. It's all very standard stuff, kind of like your 3rd Canadians, so you do lack any cool superpower units like that, but you can still definitely make it work with just, if you manage to make use of those Shermans and Operates, which is really the bread and butter for 2nd New Zealand, as well as more Spitfires doing constant, well, not constant, but pretty regular bombing runs.
Absolutely, and I think that point that you made is just great. I just feel like sometimes for me, like I want those jack of all trades, master of none kind of squads. That's always me in any kind of RTS that I play.
Yeah. Having anti-tank and infantry is such a luxury.
Yes, but this is such a Panther goes down.
Oh. See, it only took 3 Shermans, 4 Shermans to kill 1 Panther, so he's doing good on the Panther to Sherman ratio.
Oh, no, and a Stewart, so... Sorry, gotta call the lie to that one.
4.5.
Exactly.
So pretty close, and now we got T-34s being thrown into the fray here, and... Yeah, against the 76s, the Sherman should be able to take advantage just due to lovely stabilizers. And this is pretty interesting. I mean, Syno's gonna almost capture this hill completely. He has lost the southern side, though he still has a PA and a field engineer down there. It'd be interesting to see if Syno can keep control of this hill, because if you manage to just completely control it and just hug along the edge, your opponent just can't get back onto it. It's really too difficult.
I think he can do that if he takes either the Stewart or Sherman and starts to deploy to the further south. See where this Oplite is? The furthest southeast?
Oh, yeah.
You gotta be able to cover that southern approach. As you can see right now, we have T-34s that are swinging up around this advance, and this is going to be a problem pretty dang quick.
Yeah, I really do love this flank of the T-34s. You usually don't see people playing around in this open area on this hill, and this is a great area to push with tanks. Fortunately for him, Syno doesn't have any anti-tank nearby to blow up the T-34s, but yeah, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of Sherman still on that hill.
That's true, but don't count out those guard DPs. Remember, those guys can be annoying to death, if nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Looking further to the northwest, we are going to see that Oplites and Guard DPs are duking out. Oh no, and Diggers as well. Forgive me, I didn't call those guys out there. But Diggers kind of hold steady against those Guard DPs, and I guess the question is, Guard DPs better than Diggers or no?
Yeah, I'd definitely say they're better. Because they got the SMGs and... Or they don't have a Piat, but... Well, joking aside, Piat being bad, all of that is kind of better to have in a PTRD.
Well, and that's the thing, isn't it? Is that you give away some of that raw firepower.
Yeah.
Oof, what the heck is engaging? Oh, geez, there's 2 Su-85s, and there's an IL-2. These Shermans need to get undercover quick.
Yeah, holy crap, I'm quite surprised how much Syno is actually managing to push off this hill, getting onto the lower area, losing 1 Sherman there to an IL-2. Hopefully for Scherwi, these Su-85s can get ill Shermans to think about not advancing anymore, but this is extremely aggressive play here from Syno, and it's working rather well.
That's true. That's true, and that's kind of the thing though too, is that again, 2nd New Zealand, like we kind of flirted with before, but at least I didn't say, maybe you were thinking it, is that it is inherently a division that requires you to get to grips with your opponent. You can't allow yourself to be complacent with them. They just don't have that stand down and fighting it out kind of idea, at least not my perception.
You gotta get in and really stab him, just like 3rd Canadians.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. You have malware troops in there in the first place, so like, yeah. There's gotta be some bodies for them to eat, man. You can't just kind of like let it go.
Exactly. I do like how the T-34 down south are continuing this flanking maneuver. I mean, they're not really doing too much to really affect the main front line here, just forcing Ron Sherman to stay back for right now and causing a Spitfire bombing run. But still, I'm really surprised if... It seems like Syno's actually gonna hold this advance. Like, he's got a lot of infantry in these forests, and of course they're opposites with the Raiders, which make him rather sneaky and good even if they get behind enemy lines.
Well, the mildly amusing thing is that right now the Su-85s are blind.
Oh, there's no real reconnaissance.
No, because
they're just driving...
Yes.
Yeah, they're just driving straight into the tanks, which you They have decent armor to be fair, but still better than, being shot at.
Well, when a Stewart can technically kill it, oh, and of course, as I say, that's of course when the Stewart goes down. But when a Stewart can technically kill your tank, that's a bit of a problem in an MBT or AFE.
It definitely is. And also having your shite damage when you also have no recon just makes you as blind as a bat. And there we go. That was a decentish trade, yeah. For
I'm sorry, I was actually watching the 17-pounder take out the T-34 as the IL-2 came in to take out the Sherman. So that tank flank, it got spanked. So
Ripperoonie. But yeah, the SU-85 is actually cheaper than the Sherman due to the price changes. So that's a pretty rough road trade here for Scherwi, actually. It's quite funny thinking about how the tank destroyer is cheaper than the Sherman, but to be fair, the Sherman is not as great anti-tank-wise, but it isn't. For the points for being an anti-infantry machine, it's definitely worth the money.
Whatever you say that makes the cost benefit between the two, my mind always keeps going to be like, yeah, but how many rubles does it cost? And even then, it still would be a nice trade. It's a lot cheaper. You don't have to employ a couple of peasants to actually cast the stupid armor. There's no gears. You can just put potatoes in there. It's great.
Yeah. When I think of trading with rubles, I just think immediately to Escape from Tarkov.
Which is, again, one of those games I legitimately have never played in my life.
It's a game, alright.
I've always imagined it as kind of being like, and I know someone's going to yell at me for this, PUBG, but with a lot more realism.
Yeah, it's slower paced. It's a really annoying game to play, but then you find brief moments of enjoyment, and then you keep asking, right, why am I playing this? As you end up doing another scav run on reserve.
I feel like that was the same experience I had with SD2 way back when, though, too. So, yeah. But years later, here we are.
Still casting.
Indeed, Spitfire comes in real quick, takes out basically what amounts to a pack track to the north. I'm sorry.
This is brilliant here from Syno. I mean, it's going to be shooting down the IL-2 here with the Greek ace, and he's doing pretty good up north. There's really not a whole lot here from Scherwi. He's keeping some decent pressure, but of course the main thing is this bloody central position. That is... I don't know how Scherwi's going to be able to push that back. I mean, we've got the 17-pounder on... We've got two 17-pounders on the hill, Khan. I mean, infantry can't get close.
Exactly.
Jeez, that is... I mean, the Tiger is just completely buggered. He's caught out in the open.
Can we also have a quick moment of silence for Coates down here on the southern edge? I mean, the Piat's fine, but Coates has been sitting over here the entire time being like, they're all around me. They're all around me.
Breathe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. The last actual charge is for him.
Oh, I got dark.
I'm taking you down with me.
We jested before we went live with this as well, but remember, no New Zealandish. PE2 coming in, though. He's going to try to go after at least one 17-pounder. He's probably going to get him, too. At least LHG's and the half-track is there to hopefully get a surrender. Oh, wow!
What? I wouldn't want to be grass in that area, that's for sure. And there we go, Dane's a close bomb and run, knocking out the half-track. Quite surprised it didn't do more damage on the 17-pounder due to how close it was, but must have been pretty accurate.
It certainly seems to be that way. But, I mean, hey, this game is developing somewhat as we expected here. The idea of, if you are in, the successors to Old Zealand here, you've got to win in basically its first 20 minutes. Yes, there's some infantry in C that you can depend on, but, I don't know. There's T-34 85s over here in Phase C that I would not want to be sending my rinky-dink Sherman 3s up into.
Yeah. I mean, they're definitely a ride or die, Rin and Treader Rust in the first 20 minutes and Rin.
Oh, yeah.
Especially against divisions with a lot more nasty armor assets and whatnot.
Tiger goes down.
The Tiger just got, sniped across the map here.
What sniped it? Out of curiosity, because
17.
Okay, I was just you look away for 1 second and all the interesting stuff happens.
I know, such is the curse of casting Steel Division. And I see 17-pounders actually managing to shoot the guards coming up the road here, so slowing down enemy reinforcements.
It's...
And that's...
Yes, sir, I'm sorry.
No, Scherwi's just really relying on these aircraft strikes to try and knock out these 17-pounders, because that's really stopping him from retaking his position.
That's actually, I was going to make a comment. It was actually kind of funny to me that we see, the Studebaker goes down, T-34-85 has been crew killed. There's a couple, there's an Andreyusha back here, and I'm getting the sense that we're going to see a pretty quick pop looking at that eastern hillside.
Yeah. The 17-pounders are pretty spread, to be fair, so you can only really kill one in an artillery strike, so the other one will still be out to cover. But even then, there's no real tanks at the moment he has to worry about, and his oplites are in a lovely defensive position to just shoot the guards as they come across the open.
You know, I imagine those oplites are pretty happy to no longer be using, spears.
Mm-hmm.
Much easier to cover 300 meters out from you and don't have to, throw a spear at them.
Yeah. So I can just imagine like a Greek phalanx slowly crossing the field and the Russians going, what the hell, is Alexander the Great coming to invade us?
He would do it. So 82 mil stovepipe as well, trying to engage the secondary 17-pounder, and this is probably the only way he's going to be able to get around this.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, I can't help but feel... one goes down. It would not have been a better idea just to engage the town instead. You have infantry, like you said, on the open field, throw smoke out, hit the town, put their heads down, something. Because where they are right now, you're not going to win this fight out in the open.
Yeah. Yeah, he's bringing more guards here, but I feel like he doesn't really need more infantry. He does definitely need more infantry in a little bit because we're all going to die. But he needs some fire support, like T-34s and other high explosive shell guns to, defeat the Greeks.
That's true. That's true for you. I'm watching a Stuart and a T-34 ping off against each other, and the Stuart, as you might expect, he goes down to meet all the other great cavalry commanders.
Yep. And it's going to be a Sherman coming and try to engage, and yeah, Syno going for a bit more of an aggressive play up north, using his carrier 30s and a lovely aggressive position in there. And those carrier 30s are quite nasty with the 2 machine guns. For 5 points, yeah, that's a really good unit. Because most other transports have been there to 10 points.
Well,
as armaments.
As a wise Canadian might say, the cheapest chips.
The cheapest chips indeed, Khan. Cheap as chips. You can't get any cheaper than that unless it was free.
You mean like us, stupid?
God, they should really pay you to take out Ursad's trooping in this game, I swear.
Hey, you said it, not me. I'd like all the audience to pay attention to the fact that that rang with a hot mic. But these guards slowly, humping their way across this field, and I think it's because, Scherwi heard me and started pounding the town with 82 mil.
Yep. And also the machine gunner helping out a bit with just some fire support. But yeah, I mean, Scherwi is starting to gain back a little bit of momentum in the center, which is nice at least, but I think his whole northern attack is just going to blow him out of the water, because he really does not have much here, and he doesn't have a whole lot of good CQC troops in his deck, really. I mean, in B-Face, he has some tank keys, he had a few sapperies, but they're probably all dead now. So, in a northern forest fight, I don't think he's going to perform all that well.
No, he's not. I mean, the only thing he can really hold on to is that T-34-76. I think he's bringing a couple more. Yeah, he's got 2 more up there, and that's it.
Yeah, and against Sherman spam divisions, just T-34-76s aren't that wonderful compared to your standard German Panzer IV division.
Would you say that Syno's division is that Sherman spam? I mean, yes.
Yeah, it's Sherman spam. The only tanks they have are Shermans.
30% of them are Stuarts. 33% of them are Stuarts.
In a way, yeah, but still, majority is Shermans.
Okay, that's fair. I think at that point I was let's look into quibble overall. And I'd like to think that I've accomplished that goal.
Indeed you have, Tom.
PE3. Look at the pound of town. Go to pound town? Maybe? Yes?
Oh, come on.
Yep, went to pound town.
Destination U. And is he gonna get out? I think so, because that's a bit flat. It's a little bit slow.
Tango Thessaloniki's being deployed to the south. Humorously, there are two 25-pound howitzers that have not been deployed yet, despite the fact that they've been there for a hefty chunk of time.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see how this is going when you don't have to worry about deploying your artillery assets. I kind of get the feeling that Syno's kind of like, do I really want to put them here? Do I want to put them someplace else? And if you have time to think about that decision, you're not frantically clicking the entire way around the map. So there's got to be something going well there.
And we're seeing tank destiny keepers coming into the center here. I actually really like how he's deploying it. Instead of just going along this northern road, he's going to go south and then hug the hill, which is going to negate any possible 17-pounder fire. This could actually work, because he's going to be able to bypass that town where all the Greeks are, and then he can just rush onto the hill and just try to hit, you know, what's behind the lines here, to those Bofors anti-aircraft guns. I really like his push. I kind of hope it works out for him.
Yes, but also no. Because the Bofors are still there. The Bofors, they have an HMG, and these two stewards, while yes, they are being deployed to the eastern side of this, they're being deployed to the south, and there goes the entire rush. The entire rush is now done. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I kind of wish he kept moving along the road and then used the road entrance to get up into the hill instead of crossing over the open field, because without any anti-tank, yeah, he's just going to get picked off run by one. So as Tanko Destiny here, I don't think are going to have much of a time to route descent.
No, I don't think they will. And actually, more accurate, shouldn't they be called like half-track desantniki?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because in game, like, this model I'm using half tracks instead of tanks, because I think tank infantry transports would be a bit weird in terms of balance. Yeah, it would be super cool. Yeah, it'd also be hard to, like, I think, engine raise, because if a tank is getting shot at while people are on top, the people should take casualties, because it's an open top tank.
Well, I mean, and that's what honestly could happen. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I just don't think that's just an engine limitation, all things considered, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, that would certainly seem to be. Zis 3 in the meantime might be able to go. He might be able to take out this heavy machine gun, this evil, evil thing that he is. Yeah. Be mildly amusing if the Stewart's got taken out. Yep. Oh no, I thought he was taking shots at the Stewart, but that will not be happening. It looks like we're getting down to the final 90 seconds of this match, unless some miracle happens. And I don't think
a miracle is gonna happen.
I was going to say, Lenin lies asleep in his tomb. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, just that match was a really decisive play from Syno. Like, just deciding to push extra down that hill instead of just... Because usually you just see people hold the hill and just sit, yeah, because it's a good position. But actually flowing down the hill, so to speak, and grabbing an area while Scherwi was, you know, completely flabbergasted from that initial push was really the deal breaker here, all things considered.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I'm thinking about it now. I think to a certain extent that became a breakwater for a lot of this fight here.
Yeah.
So often, like you said, people go just hold that hillside instead. When you deploy into the town, there's so many little tiny, line of sight blockers. You want to put a couple vehicles in there. Infantry has to get out. You have to go and drop artillery. You have to go and do this. You have to go and do that. And every single time you're doing that, you're not hitting the hill, which gives you more time to just kind of bring up those 25-pounders, to bring up Bofors, to bring up all of this junk. So
yeah, and with his limited heavy anti-tank being 17-pounders, he managed to make great use of them by knocking out all the big heavy tank.
It's almost as if that's what their job was.
I know, it's weird. The 17-pounders pounded away, and one of them's gonna survive just because the match ended. It was like 5 seconds being blown up from high explosive bombs, and a GG with a pretty standard KD.
Well, it's kind of funny to think about the 17-pounder. If you imagine how that actually worked in real life, it'd be like, war's over, and it's like, you scamper away before you the last bombs fall.
It's like when you're a kid and you're playing tag and you tag someone. It's like, no, I was in timeout.
Oh yeah.
You can't tag me.
Oh yeah.
Screw you, Derek.
We don't mention his name on cast, right? We talked about this. Kostenko over here, a couple of 30s, kills a Sherman, kills an HMG. The other side, the Shermans, again, one Sherman, Taurura, or Ford Taurus, I don't know. 2 T-34s, 2 Su-85s, well done there. Another Sherman taking a 4-pack or something. And the 17-pounders, this was the big killer. He was the big dick in this game.
Yeah, knocking out the tiger.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The stewards, I'm actually surprised. The stewards didn't completely embarrass themselves. Of course, I think that was the guy who shot the 2 half-tracks at the end, but he theoretically paid for himself, right? So.
Yeah, I think that's definitely paid for himself.
Any final thoughts about this?
No, I was just a very solid player from Syno. Just good bloody job.
Exactly. Congratulations to the Kiwis out there. Unfortunate luck over there for the 10th Guard. And folks, we are going to bring another replay actually from the second charity tournament over here on Thursday. Like we said, the time is running out on being able to donate to that great cause. Again, Action Against Hunger. Anything further, sir?
Nope.
Well, folks, in that case, then we're going to head out until Thursday. I'm Connor Work.
I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.